Usually, when I'll bring in people like marketers or insurance agents, this is the time where I get to grill them and to try to wrangle out the truth as to why they're ripping us off or something. You're working at a museum. It's a not-for-profit. You're probably not ripping us off. No. But maybe there are some unpleasant truths about the non-for-profit world right now. So I was hoping to pick apart where those wrinkles might be. So first of all, though, we'll start with an easy one. Okay. What are some misconceptions that people might have, whether it's about non-for-profits in general, or maybe more specifically about your museum? What do people not understand?
I think a misconception is that we're slow, which is an odd one if you think about it, because they hope you're busy. But for example, if somebody comes in or we're trying to get things accomplished. My new coordinator ran into this while I was gone, actually. We have a lot of people who come in just for the sake of coming in, which is 100% what we want. But it actually leads to what I would call the chat challenge, where people want to come in and they want to talk and they're looking to participate in a conversation. But when you have two people come in and you spend 45 minutes to an hour with them, it doesn't leave a lot of room for productivity.
Yeah.
Unpleasant truth is that we really love it when people come in all the time. We also equally don't love it. Not because we don't love them coming in, but because we don't have a lot of employees. So we're trying to get so much stuff done and we really want to talk to them. But oh my gosh, I haven't gotten to this task for over a week. Unpleasant truth.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But if I was to come in and one of the volunteers there, they're going to enjoy a conversation, surely.
Sure. Oh, yes. All the time. You can stand up front and go find them. Some of them, even if you ask them to walk around with them to show them around, depending on who it was, they'd be happy to do that. That's not a problem at all.
I have actually noticed that when I've come over to your museum a few times, there's one particular fella and he starts talking to me as if I've known him for years.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know his name. He's a lovely fella.
What does he look like?
He's the bigger fella, barrel chest.
Oh, Russ. Russ is great. He was also in the Lions Club, lived here for a long time. There's a few of them that are like that. They just want to talk about the past, which is great where they are.
It's perfect for a museum, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how about this? Tell me an uncomfortable truth about funding for museums.
An uncomfortable truth about funding. Ooh. 60% of our budget is just labor.
Wow.
We're almost kind of like retail because employees are what make it happen. And so it's kind of like that ugly, it doesn't look good. But on the business side, if you go through the numbers and you look at what we do and how we accomplish it and we're very diligent to be productive and responsible about what we spend our money on as a nonprofit. So when you actually go down to the nitty gritty and you look at everything that we accomplish and how we manage it, you're like, oh, okay, well, yes, that makes sense. But it seems backwards.
And do you guys have anyone that's full-time on staff?
No, everybody's 32 hours a week or less.
32 hours a week or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably including interns then as well, eh?
Yeah, even less actually. Interns only work 25 hours or less.
Yeah, and that counts for 60% of your budget. That's
It's a odd reconciliation, especially for me doing lots of things, nonprofit, corporate world, salary, hourly, all that. You can justify it if you get into the numbers, 100%. It's very easy to do. You can't justify it if you think of it
right,
like as a stagnant museum. What?
Do you find that you have that question posed to you often? Like, why isn't our money going further with the museum?
Actually, yeah, more often not. But honestly, the simple answer is things are expensive. Materials are expensive. Unless you have great community people, which happens, they do this, who are willing to donate materials. And maybe you have somebody who is generous with their time. And like if we have an electrical issue or something that we're trying to put together, that they want to come in and spend an hour of their, skilled time working on things, it goes a really long way. That's how, the new bridge here in town kind of got built. People donating their time and their expertise and their planning. And there's a lot of things that happen community wise, but the museum is all year long.
Right.
We need stuff every year, all the time. It's not like a project that happens once a year where we get to kind of like dig in and appease the message and really get people invested. It just doesn't happen that way.
It's probably also not the kind of job where someone can come in and then expect a yearly 4 or 5% raise year on year, eh?
It is my job to make up the difference.
Interesting.
So just like any other manager, supervisor, director, CEO, it is my job to analyze the budget every year, make it. Are we breaking even? Are we going to come in ahead or behind? And wherever I want that increase, I have to either find it or make it happen. So, little bit of a reality check.
Yeah, it's probably not the funnest part of the job.
It's not. If I've done my job correctly and I've planned far enough in advance, like this next year is a little harder, as we know, inflation and like all these other things that are happening right now made it a little bit harder. But because I planned in advance, because I made the right moves in the last couple of years, because I talked to the right officials and I, looked at the general path of where things were going, I figured that would happen. So I managed to build in areas in our business that I could manipulate to still get what I wanted out of the priority items.